Okay, now we're on to the patterns. Now, when you click on your patterns, you'll see open, which means you can open your patterns right from there, or you can use the browse right here. Now, your starting bead, you can choose upper right, upper left, lower right, or lower left. I have it set for upper left because that's where I start my patterns at when I'm making them. Add text. Well, you can add text to your patterns by using this. Transpose, normally transpose changes it from color to like black and white or something like that. I haven't done very much with that at all. Rotate left does just that. It rotates your pattern left. And I'll show you that in just a second here. You click on that and you see what it did to my pattern? And you see how it changed my V's in it? This is actually how I got how I got my Rainbow Mountains. Is I rotated it after it was already put together. Now, rotate right, that does the same thing. It rotates to the right. And again, it changed the pattern. And this is how I get my up and down peyote on the bottom of the long side, on the bottom and top of the long sides. You can repeat it right, which is exactly that. It'll repeat your pattern as many times. And something to know about repeat is that you see there's two patterns when I did it once. Now, if you hit that repeat right again, you'll wind up with 4 patterns. It repeats whatever is up here already. And if I hit repeat again, you'll have 8. See? Now you have 8. Okay, now repeat down. What it will do is it will take my pattern. Let me zoom out to 100 so that you can see the whole pattern. Now, what it'll do is it'll take and this pattern right here that I've got, if you click pattern and then repeat down, you see how it made my earrings longer? Now I can actually use it as a bracelet if I wanted to. The only thing is, and I'll zoom in here with the camera so you can see it. When you repeat down, let it focus here. You notice instead of the actual V here, it doubled this little section right here. That's because I don't have a single row of any one bead at the bottom of my pattern. See, my pattern just ends the same way that it started at the top. Okay? So, when you don't have a single color dividing your two sections, you'll get a double when it connects it to repeat it. And repeating down does the same thing as repeating right. It will repeat, if you repeat it once, it'll do what I just showed you. Repeating a second time will double that, and it'll double everything from there on. So if you've got 2 sitting there, it'll double it to 4 the next time. If you've got 4 sitting there, it'll double it to 8. Now, mirror on here, I think, is different than it is on the view, but we'll check it out just to make sure. This is what mirror does to it. Okay, it did the same thing as it did on view. And flip did the same thing to this pattern as it did on view. Shift Now, I have never used shift, so I'll show you what it does. It brings up this little box, and you can shift the beads either up, down, left, or right, and it has a modifier on it, and it says none, odd, or even. Now, like I said, I have never done anything with this one here, so I am not going to mess up my earrings by trying to show you what it does. Okay, and then trim. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure exactly what that one does, but I don't see any change in my pattern. And then freeform, let me get one of my patterns here that I know I have the freeform on. And I use it a lot with my earrings. Okay, my Bride of Frankenstein earrings is a good one. Now, you notice how my beads start indented here. Now, when you see the pattern, you'll actually be told that there's 2 blank squares on these first couple of rows and then 1 blank square in the front here. The reason for that is because you see how I've got the free form checked? Now let me show you what it looks like without that checked. See all the lines there? All your blue lines from where your pattern is originally sitting at. A lot of people don't like to see all them empty squares. So, in order for them not to see the empty squares on your pattern, you click Freeform, and it hides those. So any pattern that you're going to use that on, and I'm going to go back and do this with some of mine, is to let people know that that the blank squares are not part of the pattern. The blank squares are just exactly that, blank squares that are not used. And then you've got picture. Now, let me get a new thing up here. Now, picture is the same as right here. Okay. When you click on picture, you can open. Or you can click here and it does the same thing. It opens up. It brings the pop-up up and it says open picture. Now you can find any picture on your computer. Let's go here. Let's see, what are these? Okay, these are Christmas cards that I had gotten one year in Florida. So let's grab this Christmas tree. Let's see if I can rotate that picture. Now, you see I've got a little hand here. That'll move the picture all around the board here. When you double it, when you make it a double arrow, it resizes the picture to whatever you want it, however large you want it. Now, what this picture does is you can take your pattern, your new pattern over here, your new layout. Let's take that up to, let's add a lot more columns to that. Let's move the picture over here so we can, okay, now we got that on the left side. Let's drop these down here. Oops. Okay, now you got your picture framed by your layout here. Now, what that does is you can go in here to transfer. But first, before you want to do that, you want to rotate it to the left. Now you have your pattern standing up the way the tree is supposed to be. Now you can put your columns down again. Now you want to up your rows to make sure that you've got enough rows to cover your whole picture. Okay, now what you do after that is you can either hit transfer here, or you can come back up here to transfer, and it'll bring up this pop-up box here. Now, the last picture that I transferred, I only needed 3 colors on it. Black, white, and one other color, I think it was. Now, for the palette, you can pick any one of his that he's got in his palette. You can actually choose generic colors on this one here, which I believe are like your check glass beads and stuff like that. Now, you'll notice I have a couple of palettes in here. My 11-0 rounds, my 15 rounds, and my 11-0 delicas. I made these lists from what I have that he has in his original lists. You can choose how many colors you want. They start out, when you first open it, I believe it's on 27 when you first open it. And that'll give you 27 different colors for your pattern. Now, you can use the most popular colors, or you can use the nearest colors. You can do don't color occupied areas, and you can choose to keep this window open. You can also use filters. You can use transparent beads, opaque, satin, opal, copper lined, gold lined, silver lined, color lined, and other. You can also use these types of finishes: AB, luster, galvanized, matte, matte AB, matte metallic, other, metallic, metallic AB, or dyed. And you can you can also include mixed beads. I don't use this very often, but when I do, I try to get it to as close to the number of colors that I think are in the picture that I'm trying to use. We'll continue in the next video.